So I don't know what else people need to see.
Yeah.
This idea that, oh, Trump was exposed, we saw his racism, it's going to have some impact on voters because, look at the train wreck that he was in, look at the mess, look at what. Listen, birtherism, housing lawsuits. You could Google the full page ad he took out in the New York Times in 1989 calling for the execution of children, black and
Mm-hmm.
Latin children. I don't know what else we need. Even beyond race, January 6th. I mean,
Yep.
I don't know, fake electors.
Wanting to
I don't
shoot
know,
BLM protesters. General Milley
BLM
came out and said that
protesters
he wanted to shoot them. Yeah.
doing nothing when there were threats to hang his vice president. I
Black
don't
jobs.
Black jobs, shithole countries. I could go on. I mean, people in his own family, people who worked with him, saying they heard him use the N word.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know what else we need at this point. So I knew it would be a train wreck, and I still stand by. I think it was an awful decision from NABJ.
Yeah.
Countless members agree that it was
Mm-hmm.
awful, and Rachel Scott did a good job, but I felt bad for her. I was getting really upset seeing that amazing journalist being insulted that way by Donald Trump. It really pissed me off.
Mm.
I almost felt like, remember when Trump spoke at that church years ago in Michigan and he began insulting Hillary Clinton and
Mm.
a woman got on the stage and said, we're not going to do that. Stopped
Yeah.
him. I almost felt like that because it started from the very beginning.
You know
And
what? You
so,
should have. Yeah, somebody should have stepped in and
said,
been
well,
like, "Okay,
excuse
interview's
me.
over. That's it, done."
No, we're not. You've already. I mean, he insulted her multiple times.
Yeah, he kept coming back, even when she wasn't
Back to
asking
her
him a question. He kept referencing her. It was real nasty. And then did you see what he did with the water bottle?
with the water bottle. That was strange as well. There's footage of that. Um. Then there's the whole discussion around race, and for a Republican Party who wants to act like race doesn't exist, and they want to act like race doesn't matter, they keep harping on race, and the fact that Donald Trump, from President Barack Obama to Vice President Kamala Harris, the fact that he believes he is the gatekeeper of blackness
Yeah.
is really offensive to me, but actually goes right in line with white supremacy
Mm-hmm.
because the whole construction of race is about gatekeeping who gets in these doors and who doesn't who doesn't get in the door.
Yeah.
And Trump is afraid that black people are going to show up for this qualified black woman to be
Mm-hmm.
president of the United States in Georgia, in Pennsylvania, in Michigan, and Wisconsin. He doesn't know how to compete with that because they have no policies.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a policy for health care. They don't have a policy for infrastructure. They had an immigration bill that Trump reportedly gutted because he felt like it would look too good to have any kind of fix to our immigration crisis. So this is all that they can go
They
to.
don't have
And
good
some of
policies
this,
because they do have
they don't have good policy, I
policies
should
for
say.
healthcare.
Well, and they don't have any policies for black people unless you consider reversing rights policies
That's that. Yeah, their policies are against us for sure.
or reversal.
A reversal.
So then, it's so funny how I sadly went into the rabbit hole of right wing media, which I
Mm-hmm.
rarely ever do. And we're in our bubble thinking, oh, we're all outraged by this. They gave him a round of applause.
Of course they did.
They said he went in that space and he held his own.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a history of people doing this. Mitt Romney in 2012 spoke before the NAACP, was booed 3 times,
Mm.
insulted black folks to their face, and then went to Fox News. Fox News was even big in 2012 and said, I knew I was going to get booed.
Yeah.
I
Oh
knew
yeah.
it was going to happen. Right? So this isn't a win. I mean, I think Rachel Scott held him accountable, but this isn't a win. And I just hope at this point we could say we don't need to platform this mess anymore. And, I want to also address this. The dialogue was Donald Trump saying that Kamala Harris just
Hmm.
happened to turn black. Just
Yeah.
ridiculous, deeply racist bullshit to say, right? And then I see people since then debating her blackness, folks defending her blackness and the whole bit. Um, just going to throw this out there. Who knows if people are going to even digest it? When white folks say, I'm Italian, German, Swedish, French, a little bit Native American, nobody questions that. And they're still white. I mean, I've heard white folks list their nationalities and their ancestry and their lineage, and nobody questions that at all.
Hmm.
And I guess there are some people who feel like black folks don't have diverse ancestry or lineage. Some people don't realize that. I guess they think all of our background is exactly the same. There's nothing brand new about having a diverse ancestry or lineage. And I want to remind people, this is according to the New Yorker. Trump himself claimed, wrongly, to be of Swedish heritage, at least until 1987. He wrote in The Art of the Deal that his grandfather had come to the U.S. from Sweden. Actually, the Boston Globe reported, and Axios recalled, Trump's father, Fred Trump, made up the Swedish ancestry after World War II so he wouldn't have problems selling apartments to Jewish buyers on account of his German heritage. Now,
Well,
Swedish is not a race,
yeah.
German is not a race. But do you see where I'm going here?
Hmm.
He literally thinks he has the power to police somebody's blackness. We talk about Trump's racism towards black folks, but the war that he's waged against Native Americans as it relates to these casinos for
Yeah.
decades is something
Hmm.
that a lot of people don't talk about. He did this strange ad. He had claimed that Indian reservations had fallen under mob control. And he
Mm.
secretly, according to the Washington Post, he secretly paid more than $1 million in ads that portrayed members of a tribe in upstate New York as cocaine traffickers and career criminals.
Wow.
And he suggested in testimony that dark skinned Native Americans in Connecticut were faking their ancestry.
Oh.
I mean, this is not even about this isn't even isolated to black people.
No, no, no,
So
no, definitely not.
so he was accusing darker skinned Native Americans of not being Native American enough.
Mm.
So it's just shameful. It's disgusting, and here's where we are. And I hope that people have had enough. And I want to say this. I'm going to go to you, Reese. Don't think this hurt Trump. Don't think that at all. This wasn't even his peak racism to me. He's never apologized for the vile birther movement. He got elected saying grab him by the pussy. So all y'all out there who think Kamala Harris has it in the bag, we got work to do. This ain't over. He's going to continue. You know what? This Southern Strategy 2.0 tactic, this has won Republicans' elections many, many times over. So don't think, oh my gosh, everybody's seen this. They're going to be so disgusted. It's not over. He's going to double down on this. So I hope NABJ learned that someone like him is not invited in our space.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Reese Colbert.
I mean, I think the conversations about her blackness are just so redundant, and it's like she black, that's it. If you don't think she black, okay, well then vote based off of abortion rights, inflation, environment. You name it. Vote for your citizenship. Does it matter? Does it really matter? So I feel like I've said this before. The number one way that she was attacked in her 2019 campaign was on the basis of race and trying to minimize or delegitimize her blackness. And it feeds into the kind of conversations we have as black people all the time, gatekeeping blackness. If somebody black enough, light skin versus dark skin, black woman versus black, we do this shit all the time. It's like, oh my God, do we have to do this in the lens of a presidential election? Like, it's just tired, it's played out. But I do think that, yeah, it's not a loss for him. Well, he doesn't give a damn. I said he don't give a damn about these people or anything he's gonna say. He's gonna get out there and he's gonna act the way he's always acted. So it didn't really add any value because he did nothing but lie. He was just disrespectful. It just provided a platform for him to violate these black women and really be disrespectful to the organization. I mean, he talked about their sound quality, played into the trope of,
They're being late.
black people are late. They shit is
Which we
bootleg.
don't
It's
know how true any of that
unprofessional.
is. It's still not clear if we don't know. I mean,
The
because you can't
reporting
trust
is
anything
that
he says.
the reporting was that he did not want live fact checking. Now, mind you, the fact checking
Exactly.
was only going to be on Twitter, which is inadequate anyway. But that was the reporting. But he still got up there and he portrayed black people as lazy, incompetent, late, shiftless, rude, hostile. Like if you have like a little bingo card of racist tropes for black
It
people,
was.
every damn square would be filled in. It would be bingo 25 times over. So, of course, it was predictable. Of course, it didn't add any value to the conversation. He wasn't asked about real policy, if you ask me. I mean, like I said, I want you to ask Donald Trump if he supports reparations. I want you to ask Donald Trump, what he's going to do specifically for black people instead of just letting him sit up there and say that he's the best president for black people since Lincoln. I guess so-called freeing the slaves, and he's right up there, neck and neck. Like,
And Lincoln is the worst reference, but that's too much history for people.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
too much
that
nuance. Okay. But the whole
exactly. I ain't even gonna
the
go
whole
there.
point is there was literally zero value add. I get the notion of like, hold people accountable, talk to both sides. I get that. But at the same time, you're not really doing that because he's a sociopath. He doesn't give a fuck. So all you're doing is just giving him an opportunity in your house, the house that you built, to violate it. So it was predictable. Of course, it was disrespectful. Of course, it was ridiculous. Of course, it was on brand for Trump. Of course, his folks love it. And it gave people another reason to beat up on black women. But I will say this, all the motherfuckers I sat up there and talked about twerking is unprofessional. Why you having Megan Thee Stallion?
Get to
That
that.
wasn't classy. Da 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 da. I did not see all of those same motherfuckers who like to police black women and like to police any action, even if it's a very small proportion of the activities of the day. I did not see them talk about the actual candidate getting up on that stage and showing his whole ass. I did not see the same energy. It should have been as much smoke, actually more, because he's the person who's running for the president of the United States, for Donald Trump, and him not having class, him being unprofessional, him acting like an asshole. Then you had for a rapper performing, which by the way, people perform at political rallies. That ain't nothing new. That's not some novel concept. So that's where,
Reese,
again,
Reese, Reese. Trump had people on stage with him in the South Bronx who were accused murderers.
mm-hmm.
Rappers on stage with him at the South Bronx who were accused of murder. And when I say accused, the case is ongoing at the
Yeah, yeah,
time. Maybe
yeah.
it's changed recently. And y'all are mad at Meg the Stallion when Trump had accused murderers on stage with him in the South Bronx.
But
What
were they
the
black women?
right, there we go.
Because
I mean, come on now.
as long as they're
Trump
not black
Trump had
women, it don't
Hulk
matter.
Hogan at the RNC who was literally on tape using the N-word. and y'all mad at Meg the Stallion, who is an American citizen,
Yeah.
who is a voter. I mean, it's just it's crazy to me that
Yeah.
folks are mad about, because that makes us look bad. She shouldn't be there.
But make us look bad to whom? To a
To who? To
degenerate?
who?
To a degenerate who got on
To
stage and
who?
was disrespectful? Who does it make us look bad to? Who are you even concerned about? It makes us look bad to who? Who are you so concerned about? Because I trust and believe them motherfuckers that concerned about us. Oh, I hope that black people think that I'm respectable. Donald Trump didn't give a fuck about black people thinking that he's respectable or professional or had class. He
And
acted
also, let's
ass.
be clear. Let's be clear. If Meg the Stallion was a grifter like Amber Rose and would have called and said, "I support Trump," the RNC would have put her on that stage within seconds.
Mm-hmm.
They would have been,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh yes, yes, look, we got a black person. We got a black person." They would have put her on that stage, on a stage, within seconds. So spare me the freaking respectability politics, the outrage over it, and even anybody who said it on this channel, spare me.
Oh,
It's that's ridiculous.
but
It
people
doesn't
are
make
still
any
gonna
sense.
call in. People are still gonna call in, and they're gonna talk about Megan. And Megan's not running for president. They're gonna sit
Megan is
up
not the
here.
enemy.
No. But like I said, if we're going to have standards of respectability and we're going to have outrage for a lack of respectability, then make sure you keep that same energy for the white man that got up there and showed his ass and was disrespectful as hell to black women and to a black institution, knowing that they caught all kind of heat, even bringing him there. But you know what? That's what they invited, because NABJ gave Kamala they ass to kiss and rolled out the red carpet for Donald J. Trump. So this is what you invited. This is what you should have expected. It was exactly what everybody knew it was going to be. And now, not only did you set these women up to be humiliated and to be degraded, but you've also
Well,
ruined
not
a big
Harris.
portion.
Let's not put them all in the category. Not Harris.
Well, not
Because
Harris. He did. He
Harris,
was very respectful to her, but she's
no,
still
but
part.
also she allegedly was part of the setup. Allegedly, just
Yeah,
saying. So
yeah.
let's
I mean, look. I'm not mad at her. Look, she did what she does. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, she did ask him questions. They were softball questions, but she tried to get him a chance to say something, and he still botched that. But my point is that the whole thing, they all looked ridiculous. Even Harris, because Harris was up there with him, so she didn't come out unscathed because she was part of something that was a damn mess. That was a shit show.